Hello everybody, my name is Hunter Smith. This channel, Automotive Discovery, we are going to hopefully eventually do reviews, but besides that we're going to cover statistics, specifications, yada yada, boring stuff. Basically a little background on myself. I like designing cars. That's my ideal dream job, I suppose, but my reason for creating this channel is so I can actually talk about cars, because, quite honestly, my parents are sick of hearing it. Why not try and use my excessive knowledge to try and teach some of you guys something? Alright, so today we're going to cover a topic that I know very well, as I wrote about it for English 110 last semester. So, this topic is electric cars are not a proper replacement for gasoline vehicles. Yes, I am willing to make that statement. I've done the research. So the number one argument for electric vehicles is that people claim they're more efficient, they're better for the environment. Electric cars are only as efficient as the power source. States such as Minnesota, where they're heavily dependent on fossil fuels, electric cars are going to be less efficient than a gasoline-powered car and will produce more pollution. Not from the tailpipe, but at the plant that is essentially going to be powering these cars. Whereas in California, they're more efficient because California is a clean-burning state. They rely heavily on natural gas and renewable energy sources. Take China, for example. Smog checks are a little, scary. Another issue with running electric cars as our primary source of vehicular transportation is that the chemicals contained in extremely harmful to the environment when they break down. Now, the most common chemicals in these types of electric car batteries would be nickel and cobalt, which are classified by the EPA as two of the most harmful chemicals to our environment. You really think that Tesla's saving the environment now? Wait until that thing breaks down. Now, I need to give Tesla props for one thing, and that's how efficient they've made their vehicles compared to other electrics. The only issue that's, as of right now, going to stick is that these battery packs weigh upwards of 1,000 to 1,300 pounds on average. To put that into perspective, my 1994 Pontiac Trans Am has a 5.7 liter iron block aluminum head LT1 V8. That motor dry weighs about 500 pounds. My number 2 point against electric cars is in favor of the aftermarket and modding industry. Think of how much money is generated by these essentially designers and manufacturers who make cold air intakes, catback exhaust systems, turbocharger manifolds. Essentially, all that would be left for aftermarket manufacturing would be braking components, suspension wheels. That's really about it. I mean, I guess you could throw body kits in there, but you wouldn't have people manufacturing performance parts. My third point comes a little off of my second point, in that these vehicles, for the most part, are non-DIY-able. You can essentially swap out the wheels, change the brakes, or do cosmetic work to your electric vehicle. There really isn't too much. These systems are generally closed, and they're designed so only a Tesla-certified dealer or repair shop can touch them. And that brings up another point of how much it'll cost to have a specific shop repair your car. Once the car is out of warranty, how expensive would it be to maintain? My fourth point's going to be that the performance is less than ideal. Yes, the 0 to 60 times are phenomenal. Sorry, Def. Pardon me. But if you take the car to like Nürburgring or any big track, it's not going to succeed in the way that you probably hoped and dreamed for, with 0 to 60 times being in the 2-second, 3-second range. And the reason being for this, if you aren't aware, is that the batteries heat up a lot, and then they can't efficiently power the electric motors. Now, cooling technology will improve in time. The problem is that the more horsepower you pump, the faster it's going to heat up. Those batteries are going to overheat before lap 1 is finished. My 5th point, I'll admit, is a little unfair because it doesn't just apply to electric cars. The car feel as numb as possible. My parents have a 2016 GMC Terrain which has electronic power steering. I hate it. It doesn't feel like you're touching the steering wheel. You get no feedback. So for a performance application, there's gotta be more to be desired, I suppose. The suspension's going to be very indirect, and so will power. You won't be able to hear the sound that the vehicle puts out besides a little... which, you know, sounds cool in its own respect, but it's not going to give you the feedback of a gasoline-powered performance or even a standard vehicle. My 6th point against electric vehicles is the attainability of the electricity and the cost to own these vehicles. Right now, to own a Tesla, drive and use the supercharger network, it's very cheap, down to even free. There is no way Tesla would be able to afford to keep it free. And even if they could afford to keep it free, they would probably jump on the opportunity to pull in as much money as possible by charging a fee. 7 is that these vehicles are less reliable in the long run. Lack of knowledge on how these vehicles operate compared to, say, internal combustion. And although we've had the technology since the early 1900s, yes, that's right, we had an electric vehicle in the 1900s. It could transport 6 people and could achieve a top speed of 14 miles an hour. Over 60 of these vehicles were driving around in New York City as taxis. Issue is due to our lack of knowledge with these vehicles. Things that shouldn't break will break. And it's all trial and error. For example, with the Model S, how they were having issues with 2/3 of drivetrains failing or needing extensive repair by 60,000 miles. That's not cheap. And overall, yes, the electric vehicle can improve drastically. It can use that energy and effort, no pun intended, to make gasoline vehicles more efficient. Because that's going to have to cover today's video, as I just coughed up half a lung. I heavily encourage debate as long as it's kept respectful of everyone. That's the beauty of being a human. So if you guys enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more like this one, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love feedback. Let me know how you feel I can improve. Constructive criticism is the foundation of civilized society. IMO, anyway. Anyway, have a great day, guys.